The liquid lines, right? Not with CO2. They may be the same size. When we talk about this story in Columbia, Missouri, you'll see that the liquid line and the suction line are both 3/8. With standard refrigerant, you won't see that. So, again, there's just differences we have to deal with. Some of the disadvantages, it's critical temperature. For transcritical, and we talked about it earlier, is 87.9 degrees. That is 1,045 psi. And we're seeing high pressure systems with pressures up to 2161. 2,160 pounds. How are we going to deal with that? Flight jacket and a helmet. I like that. That's good. Absolutely true. It's obviously a very high pressure refrigerant. Let's talk about how much. At minus 20, we're seeing pressures at 200 psi. So if we have a low temperature reach-in case or merchandiser that's running minus 20 degrees saturated suction, we're looking at 200 psi inside the evaporator coil. With 404A at minus 20, we're looking at 16 psi. So significantly higher pressures. At 87 degrees, obviously 1,045. At 0 degrees, 291. So again, significantly higher pressures. There are some safety aspects we have to deal with because of these higher pressures. And obviously we don't want to breathe it because it is irritant, or it is an irritant to our lungs and our eyes and our mouth. Have any of you been in a room where it's been really high CO2? And what did it do to you?
You can't breathe. You can't breathe.
You can't breathe. If you've ever been at elevations above 10,000 feet, especially if you're exercising or walking or just doing anything up there, it's like you can't breathe. Well, the same thing happens when you are in a room with CO2. The same thing happens. If the brain is trying to get oxygen and it can't because it's being displaced by CO2. So we have to be a little bit concerned